So it's official. Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya is happening at UFC 305 on August 17th in Perth, Australia. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited about this matchup. I can see why the UFC chose to go to this direction, although I will admit that Izzy doesn't really deserve it. I mean, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, and for some reason they still decided to give him a title shot. But let's be honest, he's a huge draw. And look, man, I know a lot of people were hoping for a rematch between Sean and Dricus, and that would have been awesome, man. However, the UFC decided to go with Izzy instead. It seems like the UFC often promotes whatever they think is best for their interest, regardless of the fans' opinions. The Dricus versus Sean fight was one of the closest title fights I have ever seen, and the fans still advocate for the rematch, but we're sadly not going to get it, and you know, it is what it is. And here's the interesting thing about this fight. The betting odds for this upcoming fight between Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis are currently even, with both fighters listed as minus 110. This indicates that the bookmakers see the fight as a very even match. They're pretty much saying that it's going to be very close, it's going to be like a coin flip, you know? And I'm not going to lie, I'm interested to see how Izzy deals with DDP's pressure. He's definitely has a good chance just to snipe Dricus in a wild exchange. But he's coming back after a year off to a loss where he had trouble dealing with pressure of Strickland. DDP seems to have a lot more pressure than Strickland, but obviously he's not as defensively sound. And look, I'm aware that Dricus is so wild and sometimes he can get out of position and be off balance with those huge loopy shots. Izzy could easily snipe him. He has 4 inches of reach on him, and it's entirely possible. And I feel like a lot of people like to judge Dricus' last performance, saying that he was just too wild and he's going to do the same thing with Izzy, but this is the thing that people are forgetting. Dricus was more wild against Sean Strickland because Sean wasn't finding any counters. Now against Adesanya, Dricus wouldn't be as reckless because of the danger Adesanya can be, and this would be more takedown heavy. The notion that du Plessis is gonna fight Adesanya exactly like he did against Strickland is asinine, with the advantage he has in the grappling. Now, we have to remember that Izzy has never faced a high-level grappler like Dricus before. Now, obviously, Izzy has faced and beat wrestlers like Kelvin Gastelum and Marvin Vettori, but let's be real, both of their wrestling is mid at best. You can't really compare it to Dricus, and I've been saying this for a while now. The middleweight division hasn't had a top-tier grappler for the past 6 years. Adesanya, Romero, and Alex have no submission wins at all. Whitaker hasn't submitted anyone in 10 years and has no submission wins in the UFC, and it just keeps going. Like, the pure brute strength that Dricus has shown with that head and arm hip throw was just terrifying. Robert has never been manhandled like that in the middleweight division. Then to posture up and deliver those 3 hard blows without any fear of losing position spoke volumes. After seeing that, I honestly don't care how bad or awkward his stand-up looks. The brute strength is on another level. Not just that, we've seen him go for leg locks before and he tries to submit his opponents. And if I can be real with you, I actually think this might be one of the more challenging fights for Israel Adesanya. Dricus is big, he has power, and he has the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Dude casually just hip toss Whitaker, which is insane. Dricus pretty much has plot armor, man, let's be real. But obviously I want to give Israel his credit too. I could totally see him countering Dricus in the first couple of rounds, and he's a phenomenal kickboxer. He has amazing great counters, man, and in the first 2 rounds, he's dangerous. He's known for knocking out his opponents out like Robert Whitaker or Alex Pereira, so it would not surprise me if Izzy could knock out Dricus. I just think he should probably go for that route instead of the point fighting, because I do feel like the longer this fight goes, the more it favors Dricus. But hey, you never know, maybe Izzy has been getting better with his grappling defense and he's going to be able to get back on his feet and just on point and outclass Dricus. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff like Dustin Poirier able to stop a lot of Islam's takedowns. So you never really know about the sport. That's what just makes this fight so crazy. And the more I think about this, the more I get excited for this fight, to be honest. But as for right now, as an early prediction, I'm actually going to go with Dricus. I can see him winning by a second round TKO or a late submission. I honestly think Dricus gets this, man. Maybe later on I'll change my mind, but yeah, as for right now, my pick in the meantime is Dricus to win this fight. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.